Welcome everyone, welcome to Slow Flow. On your Saturday morning, we're going to do a little hybrid kind of class today, starting low on the back, so a low, slow flow, leading into the gratitude practice. Because this week, coming home from our little trip away to a beautiful, beautiful day on Thursday, blue skies, sunshine and blossoms, I was overloaded with gratitude. I've had such a lovely time catching up with family and friends while we've been away. And I just feel like it's lovely to just take stock of the things that are really valuable to us and that mean a lot. And practices like the gratitude practice really anchor us in that feeling of, our lives are so rich when we consider all of the elements surrounding us and supporting us. And I think sometimes when we lean into that energy, it helps us manage the things that are a little trickier, a little more uncomfortable, better. I think that remembering what we have is so valuable to help us put things into perspective and to really approach our lives with a sense of fullness. So it's the gratitude practice today, Anjali Mudra, of course, which is the mudra of gratitude. When we're taking Anjali at the heart today, really bringing it into the sternum, making that strong connection to the root of the heart. But as I said, we're going to start on the back today. So let's come into constructive rest position. And we'll have the feet as wide as the mat. And just dropping the knees into the middle, letting your lower back soften towards the earth. And we'll roll the shoulders back now. Let the palms face the ceiling in an attitude of letting go and of receiving. And taking a moment now to really arrive here for this practice. Pressing the pause button on any distracting thoughts, concerns, or to-do lists. Allowing all of these things to just sit by the side of the mat now. And giving yourself this time to be completely present for your practice. Right here and right now. Scanning through your body now from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Becoming aware of places in your body that might be holding on to a sense of tension or tightness or fatigue. And then noticing too where you're holding the opposite sensations in your body today, where there might be a sense of vibrancy, of strength, and spaciousness in the body. Acknowledging that opposites are always present in the body and welcoming everything about how you are physically, just as it is right now. Starting to connect to your breathing now. Aware of the air as it moves in through your nose and out through your nose. Noticing how deeply you're breathing and noticing the texture of your breath. Maybe it's quite smooth, maybe it's a little jagged, maybe it's somewhere in the middle. Without judging or criticizing any aspect of your breathing, welcoming it just as it is. And then taking your next inhalation into the center of your chest. Expanding your breath to the sides, the back and front, upwards and downwards. Meeting that natural pause at the top of your inhalation. And then starting to exhale, drawing inwards and upwards through the body as you let go of the breath, finding the pause at the end of your exhalation. Breathing in again right into the center of your chest and taking your breath in every direction. Finding the pause at the top of your inhalation. And then exhaling again, drawing inwards and upwards through the body as you let go of the breath and anything that no longer serves you, carried by the breath. finding the pause at the end of your exhale again. And we'll continue to breathe this way through our practice today, putting your attention on this conscious 4-part breathing pattern. Aware, of course, of the movements of air in and out of your lungs, but also being present right there in the little pauses in between, these places where we get to drop into quiet and stillness. And when we breathe this way, it helps us to be able to start to slow the breathing down. And in slowing down the breath, we also have the chance to quieten a busy mind, to soothe the nervous system, and to connect to a felt sense of sattva, harmony, balance, equilibrium through the body, the mind, and the spirit. And setting an intention for our practice today, one steeped in gratitude, where we really lean into the beautiful resources around us, people who matter to us, the beautiful clean air we get to breathe where we live, the burst of spring that is upon us right now, and all the things that make up that energy that support you every single day, giving you the space to thrive and be nourished. I'm grateful for all of it. So let's outstretch the arms a little. We're going to just drop the knees from side to side, rolling over the heels of the feet. So lifting the toes off the mat and bringing a lovely, gentle, moving twist through the lower part of the spine. And then when your knees come over to the right side, let's hold there for a little bit. You might gaze towards the left if you want to bring a little more into this for the upper parts of the spine. You might also consider encouraging your left knee towards the mat a little bit, getting some more engagement through the front of the left thigh. Not forcing or pushing anything early in the practice, taking it nice and slow. And then let's take the knees all the way over to the left side. If you like, you can gaze towards the right. You might encourage your right knee a little closer to the mat, getting some more through the front of the right thigh. And then come back to center again. Bring your feet to the middle of the mat. And we're going to send the right leg into the air now and start to make circles from the right hip. These might be tiny, they might be broader, they might be asymmetrical or perfectly round. Just working into the synovial fluid in that joint, bringing a little more viscosity as we start to move this large and important joint, the right hip. And coming back the other way, notice what might be different as you change directions. Maybe your body is suggesting a different size or shape or speed. Things might be a little clunkier, they might be a little smoother, they might be pretty much the same. Just noticing what's there for you. And then release your right foot to the mat. We'll do the same on the left side. So raise your left leg into the air and start to make circles from the left hip. Handing over to your body to choose the size, the shape, the speed. Everything on the right side of the pelvis quiet and still now. And then coming back the other way. And notice, what does your body want to do when you move the other way? Keep things the same or make a few little changes. And then keeping that movement going, let's lift the right foot off the mat and We'll make circles with the whole pelvis now. It might feel nice to have your knees just hovering over the pelvis, or maybe you feel like bringing your knees a little closer into the chest, getting more of a massage through the middle and even into the upper back as you move. And then coming back the opposite way. And we'll release the feet to the floor now. So let's gather up the right leg, clasping your hands over your shins or over your knee or behind the thigh, whatever feels best for you. We're going to create a neutral spine now, so just a little bit of space between the lower back and the floor, and then we'll start to slide the left foot away, straightening out that leg. But if anything feels uncomfortable or tingly or weird, we'll keep that knee bent instead. So let's work with the exhalations to gently guide the right thigh in towards the chest. And then when you're breathing in each time, imagine you can direct your breath all the way down to the toes of the left foot and all the way up to the top of the shoulder as we fill the left side of the body with a sense of expansion and length. Every exhale, gathering up the right leg and bringing that in towards the chest. Every inhale, expansive and soft through the left side of the body. Bring your attention to the big toe of the left foot now, and then through to the inner ankle, up the inner calf and inner thigh to the hip joint, and then follow the psoas up to the sternum as we let go of any energy we're holding through the deep front line on the left that isn't serving us, making space for everything that will nourish and support us today. Take another breath in here, and then when you exhale, let's curl up. Imagine drawing the pubic bone to the navel, and then lower down as you breathe in. Curling up on your exhalation, leading from the lower abdominals and lowering as you breathe in. Continuing with this, moving at your pace. You might close your eyes as you rise each time, so we have a better chance of leading from the lower abdominals rather than the head and the neck. When you come back down, this time we'll meet here. And we'll take the right hand over the right knee. Let's bend the left leg again, and we'll rest the left hand on the left thigh. Let's press into the left thigh now as we draw the right thigh in towards the chest, and we're pressing down with the whole of the back now, broadening out through the back of your shoulders, pressing down with the upper back, the middle, the lower back, the crests of the pelvis pressing down. And as you press down, reminding yourself of everything that is underneath you, that energy that you're pushing into right now. All of those gifts, all of those connections, all of the things that sustain you and hold you steady every day, pressing down into that energy and feeling so grateful for it. We'll release from this now and take your right foot on top of the left knee. Outstretch the arms again. Take a breath in here, and then we're going to let the knees come over to the right side, maybe supporting them as you establish this with your block or your hand and forearm, or maybe the knees are happy just to come on over. Let's direct the gaze to the left hand, and we're going to breathe in here. And then when you exhale, send your left arm into the air, crossing over the torso to the right side. Breathe in and send the arm all the way back to the left again. Crossing over the body as you exhale. And then you might take an overhead movement with the left arm now, painting a circle overhead as you send it back to the left. So see what feels best for your shoulder. Maybe just traveling across the torso is the better option today. Or maybe including that overhead movement feels nourishing for your shoulder. Grateful for exactly how you find your body to be this morning. And when you come back to your outstretched arm position again, let's meet there. And then we'll bring our knees back to center. And let's do a little windscreen wiper action with the knees side to side just to reset. Come back to center. And then we'll gather up the left leg this time, clasping your hands over your shin, over your knee or behind your thigh, whatever feels right on this side. Let's create that neutral spine position again. So just a little space between the floor and the lower back. And then we'll slide the right foot away now. So straightening out the right leg. But again, if anything feels uncomfortable or tingly or weird, we'll just keep that leg bent instead. Working with your exhalations to gently guide the left thigh in towards the chest. And then when you're breathing in, imagine you can direct your breath all the way down to the toes of the right foot, all the way up to the top of the shoulder, almost imagining the right side of the body is the lung itself, that we're filling the whole side of the body with breath. Every exhale guiding the left thigh into the chest. Then bring your attention to the big toe of the right foot and then through to the inner ankle, up the inner calf and inner thigh to the hip joint, and then following the psoas up to the sternum, letting go of anything we're holding through the deep front line on the right side that isn't serving us, making space for blessings. Take another breath in here. And then when you exhale, we'll curl up again, leading from the lower abdominals. Lower the head down as you breathe in. Curling up on the exhalation and lowering as you breathe in. Continuing with this, moving at your pace. And then when your head comes back down this time, we'll meet here. And let's take the left hand over the left kneecap. We'll bend the right leg again, resting the foot on the mat. Take your right hand to the middle of the right thigh. And then we're going to press into the right thigh as we draw the left thigh in towards the chest, pressing down again. Broaden out through the back of your shoulders. Feel the weight of your head, your supporting foot, the right foot pressing down. And reminding yourself again of everything you're pressing into. Those layers and layers of energy that support you every day, that nourish you every day, and let you stand steady. Let's release from this now. We'll take the left foot on top of the right knee and we'll outstretch the arms again. Let's take a breath in here and then we'll drop the knees over to the left side. So maybe supporting the knees with the hand and forearm on the left, maybe using your block, or maybe your knees are happy to come over to that side. We'll direct our gaze to the fingertips of the right hand now. Let's breathe in here. And then when you exhale, send your right arm into the air, crossing over the body to the left side. And then inhale and send your arm all the way back to the right again. Crossing over the body on the exhale. And then you might try that overhead movement, painting an arc with your fingertips as you send the arm back to the right. Working out what the best option is for your shoulder, your right shoulder. And just like we did the hip circles earlier, this is a way of starting to bring a little more viscosity and warmth to the synovial fluid in the socket of the shoulder. A little gentle wake up for the shoulder, tailoring it to what you need today. And then when you come to your outstretched arm position again, let's meet here. And then we'll bring the knees back to center and release that left foot. Again, a little windscreen wiper action with your knees to reset the spine. And then come back to center. So preparing for Dvipadapitham now, bridge pose. So we want just a little bit of space between the feet. Maybe they're parallel, maybe they're splayed out a little, see what feels best for you. And then let's get into the 3 points of support in the feet, under the big toes, under the pinky toes, and under the heels, pressing down very evenly. Take a breath in here. Then when you exhale, press the whole of the spine down into the mat again, feeling into that energy underneath you. And then we'll breathe in, lift the hips and the chest into the air, take your arms overhead or wide. Begin your exhale and start to bring yourself down little by little, returning to our starting position. Coming into the shape as you breathe in, and then releasing little by little on that exhale. Pressing down into the mat before you rise each time. And as you're moving in and out of desk pose, noticing if you might be favoring one leg over the other, either in the elevation or the descent, and if you are, evening things up. When we're on the mat and turning our attention inwards, it gives us the opportunity to notice the habits in our movement, in our posture, and make some changes that will support us better. When you come into this next elevation, we're going to hold here. We'll bring the arms back down, and you might let your palms face down into the mat, or you might clasp your hands behind your back and walk your shoulders in a little. Let's get right back into the feet again now, active through the 3 points of support in the feet, firing up through the calves, through the thighs, the glutes, the abdominal wall, pressing down with the back of your shoulders, sharing the load of this pose very evenly through the whole body. Take one more breath in here. And then let's start to come out of the shape little by little, releasing back down to the mat. And then curling up into a ball or rocking, rolling, happy baby might be nice. Follow your body's lead as to what it wants to do here. Come back to center again. And then let's take our belts. So we're going to make a little loop underneath the ball, not the ball, but the middle of your right foot. Send that leg into the air. Now you can leave your left leg bent if you like, or you can straighten it out. But again, just pay attention. If anything feels tingly or uncomfortable, it's going to be better to have the leg bent. And we'll create a neutral spine again. So just that tiny bit of space between the lower back and the floor. And just feel into the back of the pelvis now. We want as even a distribution of that weight as possible. So holding things very steady through the midline of the body, we're going to start to let the right leg rather, come out to the right side. And we're working very slowly here. I want you to get to the point where your body is saying, okay, that is quite far enough. And then I want you to come back in just a little bit from that point. We're all going to be different with this. Holding here for a little bit. And in your own good time, you might choose to let that leg come a little further out to the right side. But we're being very measured with this rather than letting gravity just take that leg. We're being very measured. Maybe have your left hand on your left hip to keep the pelvis nice and stable. After we've been holding a position for a little while, there's a second round of feedback that goes to the brain that allows the muscles to lengthen out a little more. to come into the shapes a little deeper. And then come all the way back to center and cross the leg over to the left side. Again, just coming to where the body says that's enough. Stopping there or receding a little bit if you like from that point. And then maybe you'll take the leg a little further over, keeping the midline of the body nice and strong and steady. Come all the way back to center. And then we're going to gather up the belt, encouraging the foot towards the head. Keeping your neutral spine. You can keep a bend in your right knee or have the leg quite straight, whatever feels best for your hamstring. And then release from that, and we'll slide the left foot into that same loop and release the right leg. You can straighten out your right leg if you like, but again, just pay attention. If anything feels uncomfortable, we'll keep the knee bent instead. Neutral spine. We'll start to drop the left leg out to the side now. So again, nice and measured, not letting gravity just take that leg over. Stopping at the point where your body says that is enough. Recede from there a little bit. And let your leg get familiar with this shape that it's making, enabling that second round of feedback to the brain from the spindles in the muscle tissue. And if you want to, and it feels okay to do so, you can release a little lower into that leg coming to the left, not forcing or pushing anything, and not letting gravity just take that leg. And then come all the way back to center and take the leg over to the right side, stopping at the point where your body says that is enough, or receding from that point. And then if you want to, going a little deeper. Come back to center again, and then we'll gather up the straps, so we're bringing the foot a little closer to the head, keeping a bend in your knee if you like, or quite a straight leg, up to you. A neutral spine. And then let's bend the knee, release that leg back down, and we can put the strap to the side now. And let's roll over and come onto hands and knees. Okay, so establishing a lovely long neutral spine here, just a little bit of softness in your elbows, so we're supporting our shoulders well. Lengthen out from the crown to the tailbone, drawing the belly in. Let's breathe in here, and then on exhale, we're going to tuck the chin and tailbone under. Come back to extension again, lifting your gaze this time as you breathe in, and then move to child's pose as you let all your breath go. Finding your neutral spine again as you breathe in, moving to tuck the tail under, the neck under as you exhale. Returning to extension again, lifting your gaze, and then moving to child's pose, really emptying your lungs. And when you come to neutral this time, let's meet here. And then on exhale, let's send the left leg down the back of the mat, lifting it up as you breathe in, and bring the knee into the chest on exhale. Extending again, and maybe adding your opposite arm into the mix if you like, or maybe just moving in and out of this with the leg only, guided by what allows you to move with stability and what allows you to keep your breathing smooth and consistent. In this next extension, let's hold in the pose, flexing the foot and pushing out through the heel. Close your eyes and drop your attention into the pelvis. We're going to start to lower that elevated leg just a little bit till you feel the pelvis come to a position of more stability and evenness. Draw the belly in, bring the neck in line with the spine and lengthen out from the heel to the opposite shoulder or fingertips. Come back to all fours and then move on to child's pose as you let all of the breath go. Return to cat again as you breathe in, and then send the right leg down the back of the mat. Lift the leg up as you breathe in. Bring the knee into the chest on exhale. Extending again, you might add your opposite arm into the mix, or you might like to just be moving with the leg only on this side. And then when you come into this next extension, we're going to hold in the pose again, flexing the foot and pushing out through the heel. Close your eyes and bring your attention into the pelvis, starting to lower that elevated leg just a little bit until you find that sweet spot where the pelvis feels much more stable and even. Draw the belly in, bring the neck in line with the spine and lengthen out from the heel to the opposite shoulder or fingertips. Come back to all fours and move to child's pose now. Let's come all the way up onto the knees now, making a big circle around the body. And then sweep the arms behind the body, hands to the back of the pelvis, pressing into the pelvis, lifting the heart, opening up through the throat, broad through the collarbones, expanding our hearts into the day ahead and wrapping this attitude of gratitude around everything that comes our way today. Raise your arms again and find a neutral gaze. Let's float the hands down to the mat. And then from here, we'll move on to downward dog next. Have a little play, walking things out, shaking out your head. Yes, 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 no, no, no. And then arriving in your symmetry here, lifting the hips high, softening into the elbows and knees, collarbones broad. Let's shift the weight of the body forward to plank pose now. Drop your knees down to the mat and lower the torso in one piece. Rise into upward facing dog as you breathe in, and then move to downward dog again. Finding your way into symmetry. And then float the body forward again to plank pose, holding here for just a little bit longer this time, appreciating the strength of your bones. Drop your knees down to the mat, lower the torso in one piece. Rise into upward facing dog, breathing in, and then move to downward dog on your exhale. Let's walk the feet towards the hands now, coming into a forward fold. Take a half lift when you breathe in again, and then fold on your exhale. Take the hands to the hips, draw the elbow tips back, leading with the heart. We come up to standing, palms together overhead, and we'll take a twist to the left now, pressing into the earth, the arms open wide. Raise your arms again, breathing in, and then we'll twist to the right side, pressing into the earth. Raise your arms again, breathing in. Drop your gaze to the floor and unfurl through the neck, the upper back, the middle and lower back into Uttanasana, our forward fold. Let's take a half lift with the arms wide this time, really lengthening out through the spine. Breathe out right there, and then come all the way to standing now, palms together overhead as we arrive in mountain pose. Soften the shoulders, broaden into the side ribs. Feel into the mountain that you're standing on, the mountain that is that energy of everything that supports your life, and feeling into deep gratitude for this being present for you every moment of your life. Take a little back bend and then bring the hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra, hands right in at the sternum, the mudra of gratitude. And just give yourself a moment to land in this body just as it is, in your heart with all that you're holding today, in your mind with the things that are moving through it, everything as it is, and grateful for all of it. Let's step the left foot back now. We'll set up for a warrior one as we prepare for our gratitude sequence now. We're going to be engaged through the 3 points of support in both feet. Hips and heart are directed forward. Hands at Anjali drawn right into the sternum, the mudra of gratitude. Let's breathe in now and open the arms wide, warrior one. As you exhale, bring the hands into the heart, honoring you just as you are. Opening up again, warrior one, hearts forward. And then hands into the heart as we come out of the shape. This time, let's take warrior one, holding the hands in Anjali over the crown. Soften the shoulders. You might even bring the hands a little closer to the crown. Broaden into your side ribs. Feel into the left leg, supporting you just as evenly as the right. Bringing a little back bend into this if you like, opening up the heart. And then come out of the shape, Anjali Mudra at the heart. Open out to warrior one as you breathe in now, arms wide. As you exhale, bring the elbows into the body, the palms facing the ceiling. Take the arms wide again, warrior one. And then holding your right leg bent, we're going to bring the arms in front of the body, creating a little cup with your hands. Draw the shoulders right back. And then let's place into your hands all of your gratitude, the things that nourish your life, your connections, your people, the sunshine, the blossoms around us, and the feeling of spring in the air. So beautiful. And then when you're ready, we'll breathe in and raise the arms high as we offer this gratitude up to something bigger than us and something that is a part of that energy underneath us. Fold forward now and let the hands come inside the right thigh or knee or shin. We'll open to Trikonasana, sending your left arm high, and then float the arm down as you exhale. Sending it high, breathing in, and floating the arm down on the exhale. In our third round, let's hold in Trikonasana. You might choose to leave that arm elevated or bend the arm, bring it behind the body. You might coax that left shoulder back then, gazing high or to the floor or gazing somewhere in the middle. Sweeten this for your neck. And if you like, you can take a little more of a bend in your forward knee for some more stability, bringing all the goodness to this shape. Send your arm up again and then float the hand down to meet the other one. Raise both arms high, warrior one. And then as you exhale, let's take warrior three. You can either leave your back toes on the mat, or you can come up into the balance pose, lifting the foot off the mat. And then raise the arms up, releasing that foot down. And then let's step the feet together, hands to heart as we come out of the shape. And let yourself just land. Observing the left side of the body and the right side of the body, the whole of the body. Grateful for every breath, every heartbeat, and all that your body can and does do for you every day. Let's send the right foot back now, establishing our warrior one on this side. So again, engage through the 3 points of support in both feet, hips and heart directed forward, the hands at Anjali to begin. Right in at the sternum. Breathe in and open the arms wide, warrior one, hearts forward. And then bring the hands into the heart as you honor your own energy. Opening up again, warrior one. And then hands into the heart, honoring you. We'll raise the arms high now, bringing the palms together over the crown. Soften the shoulders, maybe bringing the hands a little closer to the head, even through both legs, so firing up your right leg a little more. And if you like, taking a little bit of a back bend, bringing a little more brightness into the body. And then hands to the heart as we come out of the shape, right in at the sternum again. Breathe in and open to warrior one, arms wide. As you exhale, we'll bring the elbows into the waist, palms facing upwards. Send the arms wide again, breathing in. And then keeping your left knee bent, we're going to bring the arms in front of the body again, creating a little cup with the hands. Draw the shoulders right back, lengthen up through the neck, and place your heartfelt gratitude inside your hands for all the things that are nourishing your life right now. Breathe in and raise the arms high, offering our gratitude up to something bigger than us. And then we'll fold forward and let the hands find the inside of the left thigh or knee or shin. We'll open to Trikonasana now, raising the right arm up. Float the arm down as you exhale. Sending it high, again breathing in. And floating it down on the exhale. In our third round, we're going to hold in Trikonasana. You might choose to leave your arm elevated or take a bend, bring it behind the body, coaxing the right shoulder back. You might gaze high or to the floor, or somewhere in the middle. Soften the forward knee for a little more stability if you like. And then send your arm high again now. Float the hand down to meet the other. Raise both arms high, palms together overhead. And then we'll move to our warrior three pose now. So again, we can leave those back toes on the mat, or if you like, you can raise the right leg off the mat. Raise the arms and release the right foot again. And then let's step the feet together, hands to heart, landing here. Soften the shoulders, lift the crown, and tune into the subtle flow of prana through the central channel of the body. Prana that travels with the breath to wherever it's needed. Trusting and being grateful for the wisdom of your body to just do what it does. Let's separate the feet out a little now. So we're going to come into Utkatasana. The word escaped me for a minute. Bring the hands to the heart. Breathe in and raise the arms high. Palms are facing each other. On the exhale, let's come into our classical chair pose, Utkatasana. Take a moment to get into your feet. So we want nice, even points of support in the feet. Establish the center of gravity. Take another breath in. On exhale, sink a little lower in your chair. Breathe in again, and then fold forward. Take the arms wide as you breathe in. Breathe out right there. Come all the way up to standing, palms facing each other, a little back bend if you like, and then moving to Utkatasana again. Breathe in here, and then sink a little lower in your chair. Breathe in again, fold forward on the exhale. Take the arms wide, a long spine as you come to a half lift. Breathe out right there. Raise the arms up again, palms facing each other, a little back bend if you want to. And one more round of Utkatasana. Nice and even through the legs. Sinking a little lower. Breathe in there. And then fold forward. Arms wide to a half lift. Breathing out there. Come all the way up to standing now, palms together overhead. A little back bend. And then let's fold all the way forward. Let your hands find the mat, and we're going to move to downward dog from here. Our last one for the practice. So bringing your tapas to this, your best focus and discipline and efforts. Drop your knees back to the mat, and maybe you'd like to just take a few rounds of cat-cow, particularly if you're craving symmetry. That might be a nice soothing motion for the spine. Or you might prefer to take Ganesha pose, swirling around, leading the body back, gliding forward, trusting the wisdom of your body to show you where you're holding points of dukkha, of tension, tightness, fatigue, directing your breath into these areas and being grateful for the wisdom your body carries. Find your way back to a neutral position again. And then let's walk the hands back towards the body, and we'll come onto the back now. We'll outstretch the arms and have the feet off the mat. We're going to cross the right leg over the left one today. And then let's drop the knees over to the right side. So again, you might support your knees with your hand and forearm, or they could just come on over, but let's be mindful of what's going on with the left shoulder. If it's lifting off the mat, we're getting too much of a twist through the lumbar spine. So you might want to come back from the twist a little bit, support the knees, and then slowly work out where the support is needed. If the support is needed, we want to keep that left shoulder down, offering whatever support that we can to the knees so that we're creating a lovely twist for the spine, but not overtaxing the lower back as we do that. You might like to gaze to the left or gaze to the ceiling. Come back to center when you're ready, and we'll cross the legs the other way. So left over right, take a breath in, and then we'll take our knees to the left side, starting with some support with the hand and forearm. Notice what's going on with your right shoulder, if it's lifting up. We're going to come back from that twist a little bit, tweaking, 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 till we can have the right shoulder down on the mat and the legs in a twist. I just had a funny little thought that it's strange, but sometimes I have to be grateful too for discomfort in my body. So many of the modifications that I offer in yoga practice are because I have to do these things for myself when my body is paining. I have to be aware and adapt what I'm doing to suit me as I am in that moment. And if I didn't have that knowledge of discomfort and pain, then I wouldn't probably have half the tools that I do on the mat. So while it's not pleasant, I am grateful for the end result, which is information. Come back to center when you're ready, and we'll finish with Apanasana now. So we'll take the hands over the top of the kneecaps. We're going to breathe in here, and then when you exhale, no, that's wrong. Sorry, I'm going to breathe in and send the legs away. That's right. And then on the exhale, bring the knees into the chest. You might add your arms into the mix, taking them overhead or wide as you breathe in. Everything back to the midline on the exhale. Continuing at your own pace. And taking one more round of Apanasana. And then we'll prepare for our relaxation. So you might like to come back to constructive rest pose, the way we started, dropping the knees into the middle. If your lower back's feeling a bit tired, that might be a nice way to go. Or for a little more brightness in the body, we can take butterfly pose, dropping the knees out to the side. Or of course, Shavasana, down the mat, long legs, if that's what's calling you today. Letting go of our physical practice now. Letting go of any guidance on the breathing. The body just breathing itself. Feeling into all the points of contact your body is making with the earth right now. Feel yourself not just resting upon, but really resting into all of those layers of energy underneath you, all of those connections, everything that nourishes your life and allows you to feel steady and strong. Being cradled in that energy as you let your mind get really quiet now and let your heart be steadied and give your body permission to really rest. Giving yourself this time now just to be. Finding gratitude towards yourself now for having taken time today to practice yoga, doing something nourishing and restorative just for you. And finding gratitude too for being in a healthy and agile body, able to breathe and move freely, to live where we do, and be able to make all the choices you can to honor yourself just as you are. Bring a little movement to your fingers and toes now and deepen your breathing again. And when you're ready, take a long stretch through the body or draw your knees up to your chest. And then roll to the side, taking a moment there. And we'll meet with our hands at Anjali Mudra in a comfortable seated position when you're ready. We'll bring the hands right into the sternum again, connecting to the root of your heart, to your absolute essence. And in that essence, letting your mind go back over the years you've lived, to all the people who have been there for you, holding your hand, guarding your back, directing you forward, and helping you to arrive in this place that you are right now. Sending gratitude to those people, whether they're with us in this plane or in the next. And holding more gratitude for all the things that are in your life today, steadying you, grounding you, nourishing your life. Let's bring the hands to the center of the forehead now, inviting inspiration, creativity, and wonder into our thoughts. Bring the hands to the throat, inviting kindness and gratitude into all of our words. And hands to the heart center as a reminder to move through all of our days with our hearts wide open, receptive to everything nourishing and beautiful in our world. And we'll close our practice now by chanting the sound of Om together, opening the arms wide as we breathe in and hands to heart as we chant. Thank you for practicing with me today, everyone. Have a beautiful day ahead. Namaste.